Hello and welcome to Inquisitive Universe. My name is Jeffrey, and this is, I don't even know what to title this one. This is just me. I want to rant. I want to get things off my chest. I feel I should get this. I feel like I should get things off my chest because I think it's at this point in time. Let's just put it like this: if you blink and you open your eyes, bang, there are 4, 5, 6, 7 new mid-range SoCs from MediaTek. Like what? And I was like, initially I was like, maybe these are new because they're all branded Dimensity, but I soon found out that it's not so. I did a post on my blog where I talked about how MediaTek are not starting, they want to like rebrand. You know, if you notice now, they are getting rid of their old system, the old MT plenty numbers branding, the old Helio P branding, the old Helio G branding. They're getting rid of all of that. In fact, the old Dimensity 3 numbers, that's up to 100 figure branding, all gone too. They are all going with full MediaTek Dimensity numbers, and they've got like a whole strata now. They've gotten the 9 for flagship, 8 for upper mid-ranges or so. I think 7 should be for 7. I don't know. I think 8 should be for flagship killers premium mid-range. 7 should be for the upper mid-range, and then 6 should be for the lower mid-range, and then finally I think there should be a Dimensity 4 coming up. I'm not very sure about that now, but you just I mean there were so many. I mean you just see 6020, 6080, 80. Yeah, I think there's an 8020. There's a 720 as well. Like I just can't keep up right now. Like there's so many 8020, 8060, and then you go and check, and then you actually realize that these are not actually even new. They are not new SoCs per se. Like the 6080, I think the 6080 is a rebranded Dimensity 810, whilst the 6020 is a rebranded Dimensity 700. Like the which one is that one again? I think the 8060 is a rebranded Dimensity 1300 or 1200 or so. They're just basically rebranding. Now I'm sitting here thinking that if MediaTek can rebrand SoCs, why is it that like other companies are not rebranding, or rather bringing down older SoCs to the mid-range? And why is Qualcomm not doing it? Or why is Qualcomm seem to just basically abandon their mid-range segment? Because come on, I mean, when the whole mid-range idea started, like when the mid-range segment was created, because I've said this before, like there's an upper, in the old days there used to be high tier or high end, low end. There was basically almost nothing in between. Yes, some companies did put phones for in between, but then again people just class them as part of the high end, as lower high end. There was not really a mid-range segment, and now we've got the mid-range. So when the mid-range actually kicked into full swing around 2017, 2018, 2019 even, the idea was that basically that specs that were being retired from the high end would be moved down to the low end where they would be cheaper, and then they would be able to like offer like very affordable performance without you selling your liver, right, or one kidney to go and buy a high-end phone. That was basically the idea. So you could see that when the Dimensity, when the Snapdragon 7 series, like when the 700 series or the 7 series was announced and released sometime around 2018, 2019, you could see that Cortex A76 cores that used to be flagship grade were now like reworked for the mid-range segment. I think the clock speed was reduced, but the whole thing was reworked, and then it was brought down, and they will now have Dimensity, Snapdragon 700 or Snapdragon 7 series processors that you now have like this, the 712, Snapdragon 712. You now have the 730, the 730G, the 720G, the 732G, and so on and so forth. And then I think there's also the 765 as well with A76 cores, and they now had the A77 cores, which were also former flagship grade, brought down. The A78 cores brought down. Like normally you would expect this progression as time went on, but since 2021 there seems to be a complete disconnect so far. Like those aren't making their way down anymore. Rather, they have been retired completely. I haven't seen the A77 in any new SoC that has been released. I've only seen the A78 that has been brought down. So I don't know if the A77 has issues or not. I can't really say. But I used to think that it was a pretty decent like CPU core for them in terms of performance. My question now is, why is it that they're not bringing it down? Because we're in the ARMv9 generation now. We now have the X1, the X1, X2, X3, X4. You now have the there is the A710, there is the A715. Right now, there's the A720. It was released, I think, about 2 or 3, not too long ago. Let's just put it like that. Not too long ago. It was released recently, and then you now have the A510, the A520 now, the A510, the A520 now. So like they are more powerful processors. We've gone through 3 generations or 3 families of better SoC. So why is it that they are not bringing the A77 and the A78 down? Like in natural order of things, so that we have like a standard, like a healthy mid-range segment. You understand that, like, so that the mid-range segment will be healthy. Instead, we are seeing the A73 continuing to like proliferate with the Snapdragon 680 and 685 new 685 quote unquote, and you're still seeing like I mean I don't honestly I don't get it. The only company, even though they are copying themselves and doing rebranding after rebranding, the only company that actually seems to care is MediaTek. Is it that the mid-range segment is dead? Because I think on many forums, even on our Inquisitive Universe group chat on Telegram, we've discussed this endlessly about how the mid-range segment is dying. And somebody was like, you know, I think Festus would always say something like that. All these your classifications: flagship light, flagship killer, premium mid-range, upper mid-range, lower mid-range, budget, entry level are fake, quote unquote. I only believes in the high end, the mid tier, and the low end. So basically, what I'm saying now is that is the mid tier. Is it dead or is it dying? Because you look at the mainstream mid-range phones. They are either using the ones that are affordable, are either using the Snapdragon 680 or 680 type phone with 873 or 875 CPUs that at this point should probably be entry level. At this time, should probably be entry level. The A53s and A55 should be gone, right? But they are not yet. They are still there. And then the current mid-rangers are like, there is a gap. I don't really like what they sold before for the mid-range segment about, like, you know, higher end like specs coming down to fill in the mid-range gap, while the older mid-range stuff would fall back down. It doesn't seem to work anymore, and I don't know, I'm ranting about it, I'm angry about it. I have no power to do anything about it. I can only just talk about it and enlighten you about it. The mid-range segment is no longer what it used to be or what it was supposed to be. I don't really know, because most people now are like saying that mid-range is not worth it now, that it's best that you just, if you have the money, just gather your coins and then just go and get yourself an older flagship from at least 2-3 years ago, that it would actually outperform many mid-rangers today, which is actually the truth. Many mainstream, like, you know, upper and lower mid-rangers today, which is actually the bloody truth. If you pick up an S20, right, if you pick up an S20, or yeah, an S20 would obliterate most mid-range phones today, despite the fact that it's 3 years old. The only thing you don't have to worry about is the dodgy battery and then possible lack of updates per se. But is that really the way to go? Because I'm seeing many YouTubers now are saying go old flagship rather than new mid-range, and those of us who normally would like to buy our phone know that nobody else has used it, there is no command, there is no issues, there is no pending whatsoever unknown stuff on it, would now be forced to, in order to be able to keep up with the regular performance that we have. Because somebody like me who bought Snapdragon 720G in 2020, and I'm looking at the options now, the G99 is only slightly better than my 720G. The 732G only slightly better. G95, G96. Ever since the 732G, Qualcomm hasn't shown any interest on, you know, doing anything good to the lower 700 series. And even the upper 700 series, it has completely abandoned them. Although there are still some good SoCs there, like the 765, the 770, the 778, the 780, that could be reworked, you know, and brought down, you know, for better performance. They seem to have abandoned or ignored all of those. So the question now is, should you be getting, for performance, should you be getting mid-range or an older flagship? And my answer is, at this point in time, because I'm a performance guy, even though I love cameras, because, you know, I'm on YouTube right now, but damn it, I'm leaning towards the side of the older flagships in terms of performance, because it looks as if the mid-range is either dead or it's already dying. It's cathartic right now. And with that, I've come to the end of this video. Thank you for coming to listen to me rant. I will see you in the next one. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.